just ask, is Mr. Khan attending, isn't it? And who is attending with you, please? Friend. Okay. Okay. The panel is requested to elect a chairperson for the hearing in line with the rules agreed by the Licensing and Safety Committee.
Thank you. Okay. Can I just have everyone introduce themselves before we go into the meeting first, please?
Councillor Prendra.
I'm Councillor Kemp, representing Rain South Ward, member of this committee.
PC Ian Pickett from Kent Police Licensing.
When you want to speak, you just press that, and then when you start to speak,
Sorry about that. I'm from Super Pizza. I'm the owner.
Okay. If you just turn your light down.
Friend, Mr. Harper's friend.
Mandy Francis, licensing manager.
Thank you.
Nicola, Couchman, Democratic Services Officer.
Thank you very much. And I'm Councillor Dan MacDonald. I'm the chairman of the panel today. I have no apologies for absence. To agree, we've done that one. There's no urgent matters by reason of special circumstances today. Are there any declarations from members or anybody on this panel with regards to this agenda today? None? Okay, that allows me to release Councillor Brown. Thank you very much. As the fourth member, you can leave the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we now go on to item 6, which is the consideration of the temporary events notice under Part 5 of Licensing Act 2003 in respect of Super Pizza, 6 Batchelor Street, Chatham, ME4 4BJ. Can I just make sure you've read all the papers? Have you got all the papers? You've seen the pack that's come to the panel?
I didn't receive any paper.
Okay. Have we?
If you can just check, because I emailed it. Sure I did.
Okay. We can give you a spare copy. I did see some discussions between you and the licensing manager, though, Mr. Khan. So you must have seen some detail. But there is a spare copy there of. It's really what you've submitted to the licensing with regards to what you want granted. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask the licensing? Can I ask Mandy, Ms. Francis, to briefly outline, please?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. The licensee for Super Pizza has served a temporary event notice on Medway Council, Environmental Health and the Police in accordance with the Licensing Act to extend the opening hours for late night refreshment 1 a.m. on the 27th of December 23 until 5 a.m. on the 2nd of January 2024. Just for members' information, the current hours for the licensable activities, for which is only late night refreshment, for Super Pizza currently is Sunday to Thursday 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. and Fridays to Saturdays 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Kent Police served the licensee with an objection notice which is attached at Appendix C, as they believe that the grounds is that the temporary event notice would undermine 2 of the licensing objectives, which is the prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. In accordance with the Licensing Act 2003, members must now consider the notice and the objection and decide which of the following options to take. These are detailed at 4.1 in the report. The options open to the panel are: take no action and permit the event in the manner described in the temporary event notice; issue a counter notice, which is basically refusing the event under section 105(2)(b) if the hearing panel considers it's appropriate for the promotion of the prevention of the public nuisance and crime and disorder objectives to do so. Or to impose one or more of the existing premises licence conditions on the temporary event notice if the hearing panel consider it appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives and if the conditions would not be inconsistent with the carrying out of licensable activities under the temporary event notice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Francis. Mr Khan, or is it Susan, can I ask you to speak in support of your application?
Yep,
Are you speaking on behalf of Mr Khan?
I can speak with him.
Okay, you're both going to do it?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know what to say, but basically, the reasons for you rejecting the application is because of the breach of the peace and the trouble. Mr. Khan, in the whole time he's had his shop, hasn't had any reports of any disturbances, any criminal activity or anything. And also, it said in here about the it can't exceed 7 days and is it 168 hours? But all of those hours added up, even with the 5 till 5 every day for 7 days, it still doesn't exceed those hours.
If I can just provide a little bit of
Clarity.
clarity on that.
Okay.
So a temporary event notice is one event. So you have a start time of the event and the date, and you have an end time of the event and the date. So dependent on whether you're closing or opening during those periods is not counted. So it's the whole total from the start of the event to the end of the event.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Francis. Over to you, Susan and Mr Khan.
What else was there? And obviously, like, why Mr. Khan is asked for the 7 days over the Christmas period is because it's a festive period. His customers need him. Do you know what I mean? We've got like backup letters, haven't we, from the pub, from all the residents that live around. That no one has a problem with it. I think it's only Kent Police that have said your statement that you object to it. Is my understanding.
Okay, just for clarity though, you haven't brought any other witnesses with you today, are you? The pub and etc.
No. Where is your evidence from?
It wasn't in the pack, Susan. So because it wasn't, it's not fully submitted. So
Okay.
I'm just saying that there may be support, but it's good for you to speak on it, but we haven't seen any.
Oh, okay. You should have brought that up. Okay. That's
Is that everything?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask the objectors? So where am I? The panel asked it. Where am I now? Number 4. Okay. The objectors. I'm going to go over to Kent Police. Is that what on this time? Objecting.
We're going straight to representation, Chair. Or are you asking questions?
You're asking them the questions. Yeah. Sorry, there.
How long has Mr. Khan been the licence holder for Super Pizza?
8 years.
Okay, and you said in that time there's been no incident.
No.
In that time, have you ever opened to the extended hours that you've actually asked for?
My shop is, I've been there 8 years, and even the beginning when I opened my shop, and like Friday, Saturday, I have like 11 to 2 o'clock. From there, I don't have any problem, and I don't have any like bad record or anything. And just ask him now, just I open just like 7 days for the week. That's the busy time in the whole
So
year.
it's the first time.
Yeah, the first time, and the police just rejected. And just I say, because there are too many shops in Medway, and they open like, for example, more hour than me. They don't have a license, and I just come in like proper way. I don't want to break the law or anything. I just come asking, and they reject my application.
Okay, just to confirm, you were present at the licensing hearing back in April in relation to your premises licence application, is that right? Earlier in the year, you applied for a premises licence to cover these similar sort of hours
Yes.
for your premises, is that
Yes,
correct?
I done. Yeah. Yes.
And were you aware of the concerns raised by Kent Police at the time?
Yeah. That time is already the Kent Police they rejected, but we're waiting for the court.
So you went to court.
Yeah, we're waiting for the court, and we can go to court.
So just to clarify, you're aware of the licensing hearing determination, or you're waiting to go to court for that?
Yeah, but the last time when I applied for the license and they just reject it, we just go to court and we're waiting for which day we go to
Sorry,
court.
sorry, Mr. Khan, and sorry, there. Can I just check with the legal is, please?
Yes,
When you did that?
they give me the day, 14th of December, and that time my solicitor have some problem. I think they're sick or something wrong.
So hang on a second. So you're saying 14th of December, that's 4 days ago.
Yes,
Right, what happened 4 days ago?
my solicitor didn't come to court, and they just say we can be cancel the court and we can go next time when they give me the time.
Right.
So they adjourned it to a further date, yeah?
Yes.
Which you're still waiting to receive the further date?
Yes.
Right. Which court was that?
I think Master Court.
Where?
I
Was it
did.
Chatham or
I
Medway?
didn't know, but my solicitor they know
Right.
which court there.
So that's Medway.
That's
Court, is it?
Medway, yeah.
All right. So you're saying you appealed the initial decision from the first hearing a while
Yeah.
back, and then you had a hearing date set for the 14th of December. Okay. I'll need to make some checks on that.
We've not had any notification of a hearing or an appeal.
Did you send your appeal notification to licensing at all? Did you send your appeal notification or anything to licensing as well?
Yeah, they have, but my solicitor have it. I don't have it. Yeah.
All right. Can you provide me with the name of your solicitor later on?
My solicitor name is Eric.
Right.
Um,
What's the name of the firm? Sorry.
Sorry,
What's the name of the firm?
what's the?
The firm, the company name, like yours is Super Pizza, what's this is it called?
It's next door to me. I don't
It's
know.
next door to you, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, I don't know what's the
Okay,
company
we'll
name.
make some
Sorry.
inquiries.
Vicky, can I just check, is it worth adjourning for a moment to see if, Mr. Khan, have you got an email on your phone? Have you got anything from them with you on your telephone? Have you got anything, an email from that solicitor? You have got an email from your solicitor, have you? I think if we just adjourn for a moment, Vicky, is that okay? We just adjourn. We just adjourn the meeting, members. Okay, PC Pickett, would you like to carry on with your questioning, please?
So you were at the hearing in April, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you were aware of police concerns that were raised by my colleague PC Hunt at the time?
Yeah, I see him that time. See.
Okay. In the 10 that has been submitted, there's been no mention of any risk assessment or measures that would be in place to lessen our concerns. Could you clarify why that is?
What you saying?
So, you know, in the original, you had, they put a report and said the reasons why they're saying they're disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
They haven't had no evidence for your response to those concerns. One was the noise of the extractor fan, which doesn't make any noise.
No.
Another one was because of your vehicles coming in that late at night making loads of noise. That isn't a problem because they don't do that.
No.
And you offered to get electric cars, remember? And then there was sort of a few other things.
Yeah, the time when come in the first time for the hearing, and I get the letter all from my neighbor, even from the FAB and the other old neighbor, and they're so happy, and they say you can open the shop is still light, and that's the first and leave it there. That's 4 or 5 property, and they're all happy with me, and they give me all the letter, and that's why I bring it in that day the hearing.
Okay, so to clarify, one of the concerns was people attending the premises to buy food, but you said it would be delivery after a certain time. Is that what you're intending to do?
We do delivery, and we do serving customer as well.
So he does deliver. Sorry, a cut-off point. He will close the shop to the public and just do deliveries. That's what he's trying to say. So there's not customers coming into a shop past a certain time.
And it's that sort of detail we would have welcomed on the temporary event notice, because at the moment it's stated that it's a takeaway pizza delivery shop. So as much as it's takeaway, assuming people can turn up,
Yeah.
delivery, obviously it will be delivered.
Yeah.
The concerns I put in my objections is that people will turn up after
Yeah.
the late night premises close,
Yeah.
and then there could be instances of crime and disorder.
No, it's not going to be a problem because obviously after a certain time, what time did you say? Was it after 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock that you're going to shut the door to the public and you're just going to do deliveries on the phone?
Yeah,
What time did you say that? Was it 1 o'clock?
yeah.
Yeah, so after your after business hours that's already in place now, he's going to close the doors to the public and just do delivery service. So you just have to ring the shop to do or online to make your order, and then his delivery drivers will take that. So that eliminates the customers coming to his shop. So there won't be no customers in his shop. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes he doesn't understand properly when you speak.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a couple of questions, just to follow on from Ian's same train of thought. Like you've just mentioned, that perhaps at 2 o'clock, when your normal hours finish, you intend to go home delivery only, as opposed to allowing customers to come into the shop.
Yes.
So, in the scenario of the nearby nightclub that closes its door at 4 o'clock in the morning, when those drunk customers, because you're asking for a licence for the busiest, probably the busiest period in the entire year, Christmas and New Year, loads of drunk people, loads of intoxicated people, dare I say people on drugs, all from the nighttime economy. So when they come to your front door of your shop at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:30, whatever the time may be, and you're delivery only, and they say, I want to come in to buy food, what are you going to do as a business to prevent disorder? Because I'd imagine, my fear would be that when they get told, no, go away, it's delivery only, there's every possibility possibility of then kicking off, becoming abusive,
Mohammed has at least 5 staff in his shop, that's not including himself, so there's 6 including Mohammed. So he has a lot of people to get that situation under control very, very quickly. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I have CCTV camera as well.
And he also has CCTV cameras, which he's got installed a little while ago, isn't it? You've got 4. I ordered you 4, didn't I?
4, yeah.
With a monitor as well, so we can see each angle of his shop, outside, inside, the back. So that covers that. So there would, if there is an issue, it can be quickly stopped and nipped in the bud without it getting out of hand, if you know what I mean. And obviously, if someone does, obviously we do have the police. But we don't think that's going to happen because he's been open all these hours for such a long time and there has been no incidents. Even the Christmases before, New Year's Eve before, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so thank you for that answer.
That's
'cause it
okay.
leads me to my next question.
Yeah.
So I understand that you're
Susan,
going to
can you
have
turn your mic off?
Oh, sorry.
I understand there's going to be multiple members of staff, which is a good thing. I'm pleased that you've said 5 or 6 rather than 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think my next question is around what are those members of staff there to do? Because my understanding would be they're there to cook and serve food.
Yeah.
It would be the job of a security team or an SIA door supervisor
Yeah.
to be dealing with those drunk persons and dealing with that confrontation,
Yeah.
not the job of normal staff members.
Understand that.
So why has there been no mention or suggestion of security staff?
I don't know. I don't know, Mohammed. Why hasn't it been mentioned? Because your solicitor should have been doing all of this. But you are willing to, if you need to get security for that period of time, you're willing to do that, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to do it. But the thing, before I apply for like still morning 5 o'clock, can I cut the hour? Can you just give me for 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock is not that late because too many shops I see in Medway, they open still 3 o'clock. Even there, some of them, they open 3:30. They don't have any problem, any trouble or anything.
Okay. That, again, Chair, leads me kindly into my next question. I appreciate that you're now willing to perhaps scale back those hours slightly. My understanding is that the premises has only got planning permission, which mirrors the current licensed hours. So, for example, there's licensing permission and there's planning permission.
Okay.
And at the moment, I believe they mirror each other. They're the same.
Okay.
So if the licensee was able, or if the panel was to grant you this extension of hours,
Yeah.
would you not be operating in breach of your planning permission?
PC Hunt, can I just go to legal because I don't think it makes much difference to that one.
There we go. Done. All right. It's a standalone application, as you know. In relation to planning, this committee can only deal with the licensing aspect. If there's an issue with planning, that's for them or enforcement to take up with that particular department.
Absolutely. I completely understand that as a point. I'm just making the reference that to knowingly operate in breach of planning is an offence. So I'm
That's
just
not a
making
match
that
for
clear
this
to the...
committee.
That's fine.
Thanks, Vicky. If you just do your mic, thank you. Back to you, Dan.
And I suppose this is my last question. So at the previous hearing, it was a different panel members. It was different to the panels that are here today, but they raised concerns, like you mentioned, concerns around the kitchen and the extraction noise and the kitchen noise and the cooking noise. They raised concerns around, obviously, late at night, the ambient noise, the outside noise drops. So they raised concerns around that. They raised concerns around customer noise, like we've just discussed, around vehicle noise, delivery driver noise, and so on and so on. You mentioned electric cars in your presentation earlier on, but am I right in thinking that at this point in time, it's normal vehicles, there's no electric vehicles at the moment? Or
Normal vehicles. Sorry. Yes, normal vehicles.
So I suppose my last question then is, what are you proposing today to mitigate the concerns that the previous licensing panel had, albeit they was on about a full variation as opposed to a 10?
So the extractor fan doesn't make any noise. You can't hear it inside the shop or outside the shop. The drivers, they're very respectful. They don't make any noise. They don't slam their doors. So that is not going to be a problem. The customers are not going to be a problem because obviously Mohammed is going to close his doors after bidding sales and make it only delivery only. So that takes away that. So what was the rest, sorry, darling? What was the rest of what you said? The reasonings why they said no. The distractor fan,
The fan,
the vehicles,
the customer noise, and our concerns around.
yeah, so all of them are addressed, so they shouldn't be an issue anymore. And with the public nuisance, it's not really going to happen. You know, he's had his licence for 8 whole years, and there's never been a problem. There's never going to be been a complaint, no badness, nothing. I don't understand why he can't have it. And it's only a temporary thing that he's asked for as well. It's only for 7 days. So it's not as if it's forever. You see what I'm saying? Yeah?
No more questions from me.
Thank you, Peter Hunt. Members, I'm going over to you to ask the applicant and the representative any questions. Councillor Printer.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Khan and Susan. And you've answered, well, I don't know if you've raised more questions for me now that you've answered the officer's questions. So you're not applying to stay open until 5 a.m. You're applying, are you saying now, Mr. Khan, are you saying now that you're applying to only extend your hours for delivery only?
Yes.
Because the application says to stay open.
Susan, if you turn your mic off, then Councillor Carnton.
I'm just trying to clarify it. So if you're delivery only, the shop will be shut and it'll only be drivers delivering pizzas.
Yes.
So, as the officer said, what happens when the people that you say are your customers from this nightclub, because I don't think there's anywhere else open until 5 a.m. in the morning, unless I'm wrong, that might want a pizza at that time of night? I mean, have you got any sort of data to say that's actually worth your business case to stay open till 5?
Okay, I understand. I've been there like nearly 10 years. In this 10 years' time, I live with an upstairs in the property as well. After 2 o'clock, like 3 or 4 o'clock, or still 5 o'clock, the Chatham town is very quiet. I didn't see any customer come to there. Even this Chatham town is very quiet. Only I just thinking because we do delivery and there will be no one there. When some customer come here, there, they will be okay. They will be so nice to him. We don't have any problem with him, any trouble or anything.
Sorry, are you saying it's quiet now because you might encourage noise if you're open? Or you're saying...
No,
so I'm really struggling to find out whether it's worth of
So
your...
if there's a customer come in after you close the shop, say 2 o'clock, and you just do delivery, and they want a pizza and they become aggressive, what are you going to do to address that? That's what she's asking. So you're going to put a sign in the window to clearly state...
Susan, sorry,
So-
that isn't what Councillor Prenter asked about the people. It's about the data around
So
it.
your application says to 5 a.m. you will be open.
Yeah.
You're now saying you won't be open. You'll only be delivering pizzas after 2 a.m. on a Friday or Saturday, or after 1 a.m. on any other day, because that's not what your application says.
The application, because now I just asking for this. You're talking about the 7 day or do you, I just get confused, sorry.
You're not the only one. I'm a bit confused, if I'm honest, about what you're actually asking for. So, all right, so you said about, I think we're on different threads here. So I'm wondering, are you going to be opening your doors until 5? Is your plan to do that? Or are you saying now you are not open, you are just delivering after your
Which one?
normal
For the 7
opening
day?
time?
For the 7 day? Like,
For what you've applied for on this TENS note?
Yeah, 7 days.
Yeah, for the 7 day, I want to open still 5 o'clock, even for the customer can come inside. I open 7 day, still light for the customer, they can come inside the shop as well.
Right, so that's what your application is.
Yes.
Okay, and the other one is, you say you've considered the impact on the local area with the noise, as the officer says, anyone who might be intoxicated coming down at that time of night. Any additional rubbish that will be generated from you being open at that time of night? Have you had all those? Have you considered all those additional impacts that are not just about selling pizzas?
Yes. You can just tell him.
So basically, if like you were saying about extra rubbish and stuff like that, he's got staff that can pick that up. It's no problem. It's never going to be a problem with extra rubbish and stuff like that. And if there is, he'll just pick it up. You see what I'm saying? It will be tidied up. It won't be left there. Trust me. It'll be addressed.
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Councillor Kemp?
Yeah, thank you. Just one brief question. So you were saying you're from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock, you're just going to be delivering. So do I assume that people will telephone the order through and then you will go out?
Or online.
So they won't actually come into the shop at all. The place will be shut down to the general public. So the only person going in and out of your shop will be your delivery drivers. Is that correct?
Yes, that's, for the 7 day, when I apply for now, I open for the customer as well.
Yeah.
Not only for delivery.
Yeah. I'm
For
talking
the
about these.
customer and delivery as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about these extra hours. These hours from 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I have a license till 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
but after 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
still 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just 7 day, I want to open for the customer as well.
So I'd like to discuss a scenario with you. You've got your delivery drivers coming in, say, 3 o'clock in the morning to pick up a delivery to take to wherever. And people are coming out of the nightclub and they see the delivery driver going into the shop. But they may well think that, oh, this place is open. So they come barging in. And how will you deal with that? Will you have sort of extra security on the door to prevent this happening?
If you want to put in security, no problem.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, how do we know there's going to be no problem? You know, what sort of security will you have there?
Normal security, just, I don't know.
You won't have security there.
I don't have security, but I want to find it.
But what I'm saying to you is, if you've got somebody coming out of the nightclub at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:30 in the morning, and sees a delivery driver going into your shop to collect an order from wherever, and then they decide to follow him in and demand a pizza from you or whatever, that is likely to be a bit of a flashpoint. It could be a point of discussion between you, which could become heated, and how would you and get rather nasty? How would you deal with that?
That's why I say, because for the customer, I want to open for the customer as well for the 7 day. When the customer come to shop, I want to open the door, they come inside.
But what I'm saying is that he will see the delivery driver going in. Will the delivery driver go through the front door of your shop or a back door?
No, the front door.
The front door. So
Yes.
if some client from the nightclub sees the delivery driver going through the door, he could follow him in, and that could possibly be a point of conflict, could it not?
Yeah, we are there like nearly 4 or 5 staff working, and we can just say, stay there, stay here, don't come inside.
But these people are presumably chefs cooking and making the pizzas. They're not necessarily door staff, so they won't be trained. Well, how will you train your extra people to deal with any prospective points of conflict? You know, I mean, security is a highly trained person. It's not, you know, I'm assuming that your workers aren't all trained security doormen.
Yeah, no problem. I can put in security. That will be more safe. No problem. I can put in security. The security can just stop the customer no come inside.
So you're saying if we were to grant this license, that you would have a fully trained doorman in place all the time, or all the time required?
For the 7 day, yes, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kemp. Mr. Khan, you've come here, you've put a lot of effort into this today. This is a really important process for all of us to understand. And so you need to. So I need to be clear on elements of the application here. So let me rewind a moment and talk about the hours. Say, you know, when you close, what happens between then and 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. Okay? Because Susan, you said that it would be delivery only. Sorry,
Yes.
let me just finish,
Oh,
Susan. Thank you. And Mr. Khan, you've now said on 2 occasions that you will see customers and delivery. So I think there needs to be clarity, because you've been asked by 2 members already about your extra hours and will it just be delivery, and you've gone and said you will be seeing customers. But Susan, when you done your representation, you said there definitely won't be no customers after the normal closure time, and it will just be delivery only. So you can understand there's been, Mr. Khan is saying something very different to you.
Can I reply?
Yeah.
No, he's misunderstood what he's... He's misunderstood what he said. He's talking about what he's applying today, what you've got in front of you, which was to be open till 5 a.m. to the public and delivery service. That's what he misunderstood what he said. That's what he means when he said that. I said, basically, he could close his shop after business, like say 2 o'clock finished, and then from 2 till 5 in the morning, if you grant this for him, he will have no customers inside the shop and you will get security for those hours. Okay.
So Susan and Mr. Khan, just to be clear though, the application in front of us is what we're reading today. Okay. And the application in front of us, just to be clear, Mr. Khan, the application in front of us was for you to see customers and delivery up until 5 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. So you can understand the questioning from this panel with regards to their concerns. Okay. So Susan, with all due respect, adding on the extra bits, that's up to us to decide afterwards.
Okay.
But at currently, we're actually asking you questions about the application you've put into, which the question around security I will touch on in a moment. But I'm going to ask about the data again, Mr. Khan. How do you know you will have a large footfall of people coming through your door during that week? What evidence do you have that you're going to be, you've already said that Chatham is quiet. What evidence do you have that you're going to be extremely busy up until 5 a.m. through your door?
It will be not that busy, maybe like just 5-6 customers come one time, but we can be managed. Even 10 customers come in, there is like just, we're not selling any alcohol or anything, just a pizza.
Do you misunderstand what he said?
So,
Sorry.
Sorry, he said, basically, what is the evidence you've got that you're going to have a lot of customers that you need for this to be granted over the festive period from past experience? Because you had your shop for a long time. See what I'm saying? That's your evidence, that's your data, like from past years. And your
Yes,
shop's always busy, and the customers as well are always complaining about it being not open so late.
Susan, sorry, it's just about trying to explain the question rather than totally feeding. So I think Mr. Khan answered me pretty clearly. So, Mr. Khan, if you're not really busy, you're paying your staff to see, you know, for you to come here and say this would be a really good thing, which is fine. Coming in and say it'd be a really good thing, open until 5 a.m. There's normally you need evidence of that you're going to make. It's going to be good business for you because you're paying your staff. You're paying all that expenses to stay open, so you've got to have evidence to make it worthwhile. And I suppose I'm asking you, what evidence do you have to show that it's going to be very worthwhile to be open for that extra 2-3 hours each evening?
What evidence do you have to prove that
Before.
you're going to be very busy so you can stay open until that time?
which evidence?
Like, that's what he's asking.
What I think before it's busy, right?
Hmm?
The last.
Mr. Khan, it's like
Sorry,
for you to prove it's busy. For you to prove it's busy. No, that's okay. For you
Sometimes
to.
I'm not understand. I'm really sorry. For
That's
that.
okay. I'm going to explain it easier. Yeah, for you to prove it's busy, for you to think, oh, it's going to be really busy that week.
Yeah.
How do you know it's going to be busy?
Because the New Year's night and everybody going out, that's why that will be more busy.
And
Can-
your shop's busy all the time.
Can you explain to me, Mr. Khan, a little bit more about the security? Because obviously the objectors have made it very clear that detail wasn't in here originally. You can understand that. So talk me through the mechanism you're now going to do. Talk me through how you're now going to ensure there's security on site for this application.
Talking about like security, the security can bring, they can be in the door and they will be work there.
No, I mean you haven't got long to go before this comes live. We're nearly at Christmas. How are you going to make the steps to ensure that you hire security for this?
We're going to look for security companies straight away when we leave it today, and we're going to ring them up, get some quotes, and you're going to employ a security to do cover that period.
Of course, why not?
From today, we're going to do that
Yes,
this afternoon.
of course I do it, yeah.
Going back to the data part, just quickly again, your deliveries. So how far do you go out for delivery? How far do you deliver
We
to?
did delivery all in Medway,
All over Medway.
yes.
Okay. So in blocks of flats, in all different areas.
Yes.
So what impact do you feel your delivery drivers may have on residential areas in their cars pulling up, going into blocks of flats, delivering at 4 or 5 in the morning? What impact do you think that may have at that late hour in the morning to go in when people are normally in bed and asleep? If you're going into blocks of flats, what impact? How will your drivers be quiet when they're delivering?
Be honest, because my old driver, like we are like family, and I will tell my driver, like very careful, and there will be no making noise at all.
Respectful. close
They
their
will be
doors
respectful.
well,
I will tell
close
him
their doors,
everyone,
they
yeah.
drive off nicely, stuff like that. They already
But you do understand that if you're going into a block of flats and you're pressing intercoms, you can only be as quiet as you can be, right? So I'm not saying that your drivers are not going to be respectful. I'm just saying about that awareness of still possibly waking people up at that time in the morning. Susan, sorry, I'm going to stop again, just because it is more, we're adding now extra bits into it, which is good to hear, and the applicant can bring that up. The applicant can bring it up when we finalise. But
what I'm saying is you asked how he... Like, this is what I was trying to say to him. He could tell his customers when they make a delivery that the driver has to call them instead of buzzing the buzzer. That's what I'm saying. So there's no buzzer.
But I was asking that of Mr. Khan as well, because he did say about his family and drivers. He knows his drivers are respectful. I need that reassurance.
I tell my old driver when they take delivery, and I will say to him, don't call the buzzer or anything. Can you just call the customer, and they will open the door and they come upstairs to give delivery.
Okay. Can I just ask about the litter that Councillor Prenter brought up? Do you do litter picks now? Do you pick up litter around the shop now?
There's no litter. He said, do you do litter pickups basically around your shop, but you don't do it because there's no litter?
The letter.
Litter, rubbish.
Yeah, because when anything like outside, any paperwork or any rubbish, we can just pick up and put in the bin. I will be clear it. I give a guarantee for that.
Okay. Susan, you were saying that there's no rubbish or litter around there now?
No, there isn't.
So no one drops litter, but you think there may be litter when you're opening later?
There might be, I'm not sure. But if that is, he has a solution to address that situation. But right now, what I'm saying is he doesn't suffer with that problem. No one litters there. That part of the Batchelor Street is quite tidy for Chatham High Street, not being rude. It's quite tidy and clean. All the shops responsible, they all keep the outside of their property very clean. The pub, Chatham Grill, Super Pizza Tonight, Super Pizza, even the Slizzers. There's no rubbish. Honestly, if you drive down there, it's very clean for Chatham High Street, that part.
But you do understand when a shop is open later and and it's possibly the only place that's going to be open when everywhere's shut.
Yeah.
People loiter around and probably drop litter. You do understand that part?
But what Mr. Khan can do, he could provide bins, which there's just public bins, but he could provide personal bins to his shop for his rubbish for his shop. And if there is any debris or rubbish, then it will be cleared up immediately. It won't be left. It won't be a litter picking. It won't be a sight for sore eyes. You know what I'm saying?
So the staff will pick it up?
Yeah, it's never going to be a problem. It hasn't ever been a problem, and it will never become a problem.
No. Just
Okay.
I'll ask you one thing more. Even the last years, the New Year's night, there is one shop, is Pizza Tonight, and they open still 4 o'clock morning, and I close 1 o'clock. And even they don't have a license, no one asks you anything. Even there have some more shop in Chatham, and some of them Gillingham. Even the newest night open still 4 o'clock morning, and even 5 o'clock in morning. No one go there, and no one.
But
asks
Mr.
anything.
Khan, you can, the licensing team are always available. If you needed to report any businesses that are operating illegally, then there is a good route to go through to make sure. We're not here to talk about other businesses, but if you see that any business breaking the law, make sure you report it to our licensing team. But we're here to talk about your one tonight, but make sure you do report it if you feel. Okay, that's me done. Can I go over to Kent, please, Stan and Ian, for you to put your representation out, please?
Chair, very quickly, just while I remember, forgive me, may I just have one question? Just want to seek some clarity. One very quick question from the legal advisor before Ian presents. Is that in order?
Yeah, I'm happy for that.
Just reading through I know Mandy mentioned it at the beginning, the options available to the panel. So obviously there's take no action, issue a counter notice and object to the 10, or impose conditions which are on the existing premises licence only. Is that correct? We can't add additional conditions, is that correct?
So the position will be that you can't amend the 10's application effectively, and you can't add additional conditions that are already in place.
Okay. So would I be right in thinking that any additional conditions agreed would effectively be on trust only?
It would require a variation of the current conditions, so, and that's not what we're here to do.
Thank you. I just wanted to seek
that's
clarity,
fine.
that was all. But thank you for letting me jump in. You're on, mate.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, committee members. So, Kent Police submitted the objection by myself to the temporary event notice submitted by the applicant here for the extension of the late night refreshment between the 27th of December 2023 to the 2nd of January 2024. And the objection was made in relation to the two licensing objectives, namely prevention of crime, disorder and public nuisance. As stated within the 10, the Super Pizza is described as a takeaway pizza delivery shop, which is currently licensed to open for late night refreshment Sunday to Thursdays, 2300 hours to 0100 hours, and Friday to Saturdays, 2300 hours to 0200 hours. Initially, the 10 was rejected by the Medway licensing team for the excessive amount of hours. However, it was received by them on the 4th, but I only had sight of it on the 7th, which was the last day of the consultation. However, as a result of reviewing the temporary event notice and also being aware of the previous determination by the licensing committee in relation to the variation, I had concerns in relation to there being incidents of crime and disorder as well as public nuisance linked to this premises if the 10 was approved by ourselves. As stated in my objection, there's been no mention regarding what measures would be in place at the premises during the extended hours, despite what was previously mentioned within our representations and what was said during the licensing hearing in April 2023. If I could just make reference to the Medway Statement of a Licensing Policy, Policy 20, page 36, it gives 6 factors as to what the authorities will take into account in relation to temporary event notices. And one of those is any proposed control measures intended to mitigate the objection, as in safety measures. Also within the same policy, it makes reference to a premises that already holds a premises licence that submits a 10 to consider undertaking a risk assessment in order to ensure that the 4 licensing objectives are considered. And one of those 4 is where the event is to run any time between the hours of 2300 hours and 0800 hours. I think if measures had been mentioned within the temporary event notice, or the mention of a risk assessment had been conducted or will be conducted, then our concerns in relation to the incidence of crime, disorder, public nuisance may have been abated. Also, within my objection, I made reference to a nightclub that is open. Having checked, out of the 7 nights that they are going to be, that this temporary event notice is in relation to, they will be opening 4 nights over that period, with an expected closure time between 0300 0400 hours on each of those nights, and also conducting some research into licensed premises, namely pubs within the Chatham Town Centre. Out of the 7 pubs that I identified, 5 do have a premises licence that gives them extended hours during this period of the 10. and 2 others also have submitted TENs for extension of licensable activities during that period as well. Within the hearing pack, point 3.6, it states that he's going to actually close at 0500 hours, and you've said that today. That's what your intention is. I think you've chosen that time because you want to make as much financially viable to yourself as possible. Obviously, it's going to be a busy time of year, so I think that's why you've obviously want to extend those times. But I don't think you've actually put in the mitigation written at that time. And if you had that consultation with us, then potentially we may not be here today. All right. You've also made mention that in the temporary event notice there would be 10 persons in the premises at any one time. So you mentioned staff. You then said that there's going to be people allowed to come into the premises. So open till 5 o'clock in the morning. The club will close at 4. People may be hanging around, but they could then walk down. So it seems like as much as the warning, the determination that was raised in April, that you didn't take heed of this. Does that make sense? So so to finish up, Chair, despite what the applicant has said in his 10 and what he said today, I think he's thinking on the hoof, and he's putting things in place which, if he had done the risk assessment, consulted us and put those measures in place and put it formally in writing, then we may not be here today.
Thank you, Ian. Mandy?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. It's just in light of us not being able to amend the temporary event notice and not being able to impose any additional conditions. I just wanted to give you a rundown of what the current conditions are, just so that you are aware of what you could apply to the 10 should you deem to grant it. Aside from the mandatory conditions, which normally relates to alcohol licensed premises, there are 2 conditions which were consistent with the operating schedule of their existing licence application. And following that, they were put on the licence. You've got 2 conditions. One, which is condition 1, and that's CCTV to be installed and maintained with an incorporated recording facility. Recordings to be stored for appropriate period, generally 1 month, but to be agreed with the police and licensing authority. The CCTV system to be fully operational throughout the hours that the premises are open for licensable activity. Recordings to be made available to police and local authority on request. So that's one condition that you could apply. And the second one, which I think is quite prudent in this case, because we touched on planning, and about the planning issue and the fact that planning consent may not be obtained. And there is an actual condition on the existing licence that states the premises may not open after 11 p.m. until planning consent has been applied for and granted by the planning authority. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms Francis. Mr Khan and Susan, would you like to ask the objectors any questions? Members, any questions for the objectors? Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add further, Mr. Khan or Susan? Anything you'd just like to finish with?
No,
Susan, do you want to add anything? Anything for the Kent Police? Would you like to just add anything further?
Kent Police want premises to prosper, especially in these hard times financially, but this cannot be at the detriment of a premises ensuring that the objectives are being upheld. As the applicant said previously, hasn't been of note to ourselves, but that's due to the, I think, of the hours that they are conducting themselves to at the moment. But we are talking about the busiest time of year for potentially Kent Police. And also, if they were to have those extended hours, then I believe there'd be instances of crime and disorder, public nuisance with his premises.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Okay. Can I just ask you if you all to leave the room for us to make a decision? It'd just be members left and just officers. Okay, can everyone just leave the room? We'll be as quick as we can, possibly can. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your time today, and sorry about the delay. So we are going to refuse the application, as we are not satisfied that the application meets the concerns of the objectors, and we are also concerned about the prevention of crime and disorder and public nuisance. That's why we've refused the application today. Okay, you will get a written response as well, explaining that as well to you. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. If I can just say, this will result in me sending you a counter notice. In light of our discussion out there about the solicitor, if I can have your email address so that I can send it to you directly rather than to the solicitor, if that's okay.
So Mr. Khan and Susan, I don't know if you can explain to Mr. Khan as well, just make it clear. So you have to now follow your current conditions. You can't open during any extended hours now over the Christmas period. Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, members. Thank you. Thanks for your time.